if we're looking at problem 22, okay, assuming this is the center of your circle, it tells you that this distance hi, or this arc measure hi, is represented by 7x plus 20, and the arc measure fi, so this arc measure here, is represented by the expression 100 minus 3x, and it wants you to find angle FEI. So what we're looking to solve for is this angle right here. All right, well, what do these two arc measures combine to form? It's a whole semicircle. Right, and so if you look at that, the expression 7x plus 20 added to 100 minus 3x has to equal the total of 180. And so if you work through this problem, okay, combining your like terms here, you get 4x plus 120 is equal to 180. Subtract 120 from both sides, and then divide by 4. 4 goes into 6 once, with 2 remaining. 4 goes into 20 5 times. And so your x value is 15. Now, is that your answer? No. What we want to do is we want to substitute that in here, because our arc measure and our angle measure of the central angle that intercepts that arc are exactly equal. And so if we plug that in, 100 minus 3 times 15 gives you your solution. Tracy? Okay. So kind of looking at the same figure, here it tells you that the ratio of CD to BC, so the ratio of these two pieces is 7 to 5. Remember, ratios have to do with common multipliers. So a ratio of 7 to 5 means that this arc measure is going to be 7 times some common multiplier, while this arc measure is 5 times that same multiplier. You don't know what it is yet, but you know that it's that common multiplier for both. And so if you want to find the actual measures of those, you can do a couple things. Okay, so this is the one thinking of part to part and staying with that part to part ratio. Okay, what do the total sum of these arc measures have to be? So if you set these equal to 180 and solve for x, plug that in, you can get your solution. Now there's another way to deal with ratios, and that is to think in terms of part to whole. So this arc right here, if the ratio is 7 to 5, this arc represents 7 out of how many totals or wholes? If the part of 7 and a part of 5 combine to give you a whole of 12, and then this arc is 5 parts out of the whole 12. So what you could do is, again, say the whole arc measure is 180. So this is 5/12 of 180. This is 7/12 of 180. And you can identify each of those individually. All right, let me talk really quickly since this came up, this ratio. Okay, one of the things that I try to emphasize and that can save you time is if you have an understanding of ratios, there's a lot of things, especially when we get into the areas and volumes, that can be reduced. Okay, what I will often talk about is ratio of parts, and I'll represent it kind of like with this notation, is equal to m to n. Okay, anytime you know that similar figures, okay, and similar figures are ones that are proportional to each other, meaning you can enlarge or reduce one and it'll fit directly on top of the other. Are all circles similar? Can you take any circle, enlarge it, and place it directly on top of another circle larger than it? Yeah, so circles are similar figures. So what that means is for any one-dimensional part, so parts are one-dimensional. Okay, remember, areas are 2 dimensions, volumes are 3 dimensions. But any one-dimensional measure between a set of, or 2 circles will have the exact same ratio of parts. So what that means is if I take 2 circles, let's say here and here, and I tell you that the ratio of their radii is 3 to 5. So there's the ratio of their parts. that means that any one-dimensional measurement is going to have that same ratio. So what's going to be the ratio of their circumferences? 3 to 5. What will be the ratio of their diameters? 3 to 5. Okay, so any one-dimensional measurement, okay, anything that's measured along one dimension will have the exact same ratio when things are similar and circles are similar to each other. Okay, fits in. Oh, it would be like areas. They'll have something different. We'll talk about that. Okay, but again, any one-dimensional. So if you have a set of corresponding chords that have the same, they correspond exactly, then they'll also have the same ratio. Right.